Yo, mic check 1 2. Welcome to Knowledge and Relationships M3 TV News, the stream that gives you the best news and also encourage people to get their mind right. Okay, this is your host M3, and I also have my co-host with me, Mr. Vaughn Eric, in the building. Salute, Vaughn Eric.
Hey, hello everybody. Blessings to all. Blessings to you, my brother. Good to be here.
Well, yeah, thank you again, like for tuning in at the start of the show, and yeah, we're gonna get things started, but a few announcements real quick before I even get to the chat. So I have 3 videos that we're gonna react to, but I want to wait until we get more people, so that way no one misses these reaction videos, because it's going to be very important to take a look at it and watch. Okay. The other thing is, okay, we are getting close, okay, to getting 1,000 subscribers. Okay. YouTube's been playing around with us. Sometimes they'll give us a few subscribers, sometimes it will take it back. But nevertheless, we're going to rise onto the top. Every time when we lose some, we definitely gain triple the amount. Okay. And lastly, okay, we do have YouTube viewers as well too. So I am streaming on my personal YouTube. Sorry, that's say YouTube. I meant Facebook. We have Facebook viewers. So right now, only for a moment of time, I will be streaming on Facebook for the time being as well too, until maybe to the 15 or 30-minute mark. After that, I encourage people who's watching on Facebook, don't be lazy. Click over to Knowledge Relationships, subscribe, because this is where it's at. And only subscribers in the YouTube side can only comment. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to our network manager, Mr. Intellectual Soulbox. Salute to Mr. Intellectual Soulbox. He's definitely in the building. This dynasty continues. He is definitely on the rooftop. Sorry, the rooftop. With this little sniper, so be careful. All right. He also says, which I'm going to start this too. Like and subscribe to our channel. Hit that hit that bell. Okay. Hit the notification bell so that way when we go live, you'll be notified. And then also salutes to It's Hot Air. So salutes to you. And also salutes to Just Andrea as well. So salutes to the Bay Area's finest. All right. Mr. Intellectual Soulbox says salutes to Vaughn Eric and Lady Andrea. Okay. And she's giving warm salutes to the Intellectual Soulbox. And then also to the Intellectual Soulbox. Thank you for doing this too. He also shared Lady Andrea's YouTube channel. So feel free to click and subscribe. Okay. Click on the link and subscribe to her channel. And shout outs to Chef Shapino, Victor Freeze, and the rest of the crew out there too, though. So, all right. With that being said, let's go ahead and play some music real quick. Let's see what we're gonna play. We'll play that. I like that tune anyway. Shout outs to our music producer, DJ The King. DJ The King, if you're listening, I just want to say, look, get better, get well soon, man. Hopefully we'll see you again, and just best healings, All right. Tonight's episode is called, all right, Teachers, Preachers, and Pimps. Are they all the same scammers? So we're gonna dive into this though. But Vaughn Eric, how you been doing so far, man?
Oh, been doing good, my brother. Thank you for asking. Yeah, been doing good. Had a good day today. Wonderful day. Enjoyed the weather.
Okay, well that's what's up. I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's good to be here, man. Get that electrical, that intellect, that knowledge, and the relationship with you and the brothers in the chat and the sisters in the chat to build this wisdom up and the understanding. So it's great to be here. Blessings.
All right, definitely. Blessings as well too. Okay. Let's see how many people. So we got 3 people in the on YouTube and 1 person on Twitch. Well, look, I'm not going to hold anybody up, so we're just going to get things started with the first reaction. Okay. So we'll start things in order with the teachers first, and then we'll move on to the preachers and the pimps. Okay. So let me go ahead and get this screen share started. Let me see, pastor, bishop, teacher. Okay. All right, let me see. Oops, what's not? Oh. Okay, there we go. Let me add that to the stream. Okay. So, as always, everything is always done in the act of fair use. Okay. So, you know how we roll. I'll play the video and I'll pause it every now and then. Okay. And then just to make a slight adjustment, let me see. How can I change the speed? Okay. Let me slow it down and see how this will sound. And then if it doesn't sound that good, then I'll speed up. All right, fair use, everyone.
Well, new developments in a case that shocked the country. The teacher impregnated by her 8th grade student will face a judge for the first time this morning. Our Sophia,
So just to give a bit of illustration, even though this is an old video, but there was a teacher, of course, and it seemed like she's in the Bay Area, unfortunately. She gets pregnant by a 13-year-old.
is live downtown with the latest and some pretty serious charges against her, Sophia.
Yeah, good morning, Rachel.
Let me speed that up. There we go.
She is now facing continuous sexual abuse of a child after she admitted to having a sexual relationship with her 8th grade student.
Prosecutors say 24-year-old Alexandria Vera, a teacher
So at the time, the lady was 24 years old.
at Stovall Middle School, not only engaged in a sexual relationship with one of her 13-year-old students, the mother of one also got pregnant by the 8th grade.
And she was already a mother, too. So, man, it's kind of tough.
But in court documents, Vera says the student's parents knew about the relationship and they approved of it, allowing the teen to spend the night at Vera's home in Spring, where they would engage in sex on a regular basis.
So if you caught that, basically, the 13-year-old's parents gave the consent for a 13-year-old to spend the night at the teacher's place. So the teacher would drop the student off at his place after, they bump and grind. I'm gonna have some questions for this, so yeah, let's continue on. Okay.
She told an investigator she would drop him off at home in the morning so he could catch the bus to school. The relationship allegedly lasted for 4 months, ending in January with a pregnancy that Vera terminated.
Vera turned herself in on Wednesday morning. She's currently out on bond. Again, she now faces 1 count of continuous sexual abuse of a child. She is due here in Harris County Court at 9 o'clock this morning. We'll be here.
Now I wonder, as the child turned 8, well, of course that relationship's not gonna last.
And we'll bring you the latest developments coming up on Channel 2 at 11. Live downtown, Sophia Ojeda, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Well, new developments in the case.
Okay. How do I go back on this one? Okay. Questions. Okay. So here's my question, right? My question for you, Vaughn, is that, okay, who do you think is really at fault in this situation?
Well, the teacher, because she's an adult, but oh man, yeah. And I would say the teacher, due to her position, and she would be considered adult, 8th grader. Is that a minor in Yeah, because I wonder why they in charge of. But they saying she had sexual relationship with a student. They don't say on there that she had a relationship with a minor. I wonder why.
I don't know.
And was she charged for? Because wouldn't that be a minor? 8th grade?
Well, yeah. Well, they mentioned that the kid is 13 years old, so he is a minor. Um, like no matter what, like you will be charged for that. And it seemed like she's from the state of California, like in the Bay Area, so
Uh-huh.
that's definitely a no go. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
from where we're at.
Oh, okay. I
So
just wonder why they didn't have that on the headlines, or they didn't say anything about that, and I wonder why.
that is a good question. You know, sometimes the media just want to portray wherever they choose to portray it as.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and,
that's it.
and it, and the thing is like this is not like a woman who's like old. It's
Right,
not a woman that's like ugly.
right,
Like that's a fine woman, to
right.
be honest with you.
Yeah, she was attractive.
And you'll think that okay, a woman like her and her caliber that's successful in her career, that looks good, why would you subjugate yourself to lower your standards for a minor? Now you know damn well, right? That kid could not keep his mouth shut. I'm for sure like he is like the talk of the town, the cool kid on the block at his school. I'm for sure he told hundreds of children, kids like his age, that yo, I'm banging this teacher. She's fine as hell. We're bumping, grinding, and all that.
Right.
You know,
I wonder. Well,
yeah.
you're right. She's attractive.
Mhm.
She's a teacher, but I wonder how she is mentally. It must be something that how she was raised, or something in which is she very insecure? How she is mentally? Well, we can't see that because can't have a conversation with her, or we haven't had a conversation with her. But I would like to know where is her mental state, because you're right. She's attractive. She's a teacher. Obviously, she was successful in college because she's a teacher. So, what is she like mentally, and what possessed her to have a relationship with a minor? So that means she could be very insecure, or believe she can't get no one, or she just attracted to minors, young boys.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing, right? And shout outs to Mr. He Said. Thank you for tuning in, fam. For the ones who are tuning in, please get the likes up as well too. And also, you know what? And AR and Mr. He Said, if you guys would like to come up, let Mr. Intellectual Soapbox know. He could send you a link privately to join into like the live stream. Just let us know. Because I would like to bring some more brothers up in here so we could have this discussion, So AR and Mr. He Said, let me know if you wish to come up. And also to follow AR on his YouTube channel, him versus her solutions. Also as known as the woman sphere versus the manosphere, like as it's shown. But yeah, him versus her solutions. Definitely follow his YouTube channel. Okay, AR says down to come up. So, Mr. Intellectual Soapbox, if you don't mind, can you privately send like the StreamYard link to AR? And Mr. He Said, let me know if you want to join in as well too, because I would definitely like to get like some more perspective from these brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. And the other thing is that okay, I get what you're saying, Vaughn. Mm-hmm. Okay, so your view is that you think it's the teacher's fault. I do place the responsibility on the teacher. Mm-hmm. However, until I heard that the young man's parents gave him the okay, once they gave the teacher the consent, to do wherever she want to do with the kid, and they was totally fine with that. Now it's like the responsibility is not really Well, the blame is not 100% on the teacher.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. They said the parents was consent. The parents gave it a consent.
Hey, we could go back and replay it.
Oh yeah, because I didn't hear that one.
Okay.
That might change. That's going to change my.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely go back to this one.
Well, new developments in a case that shocked the country. The teacher
now facing continuous sexual abuse of a child after she admitted to having a sexual relationship with her 8th grade student.
Prosecutors say 24-year-old Alexandra Vera, a teacher at Stovall Middle School, not only engaged in a sexual
Matter of fact, let me go ahead and slow it down so that way people can kind of get it, right?
relationship with one of her 13-year-old students. The mother of one also got pregnant by the 8th. But in court documents, Vera says the student's parents knew about the relationship and knew about the relationship as the student's parents knew about the relationship.
Okay.
Oh wow. Oh, then that man.
He said. Yeah. Wait, real quick, Vaughn. Everybody, please follow Mr. He Said on his YouTube channel. So that's the link right here, everybody. And then, thank you, Mr. Intellectual Soapbox. Appreciate that. So he did send the link to AR as well too. So AR, feel free to come up. Miss Priscilla, oh, my sister. Hey, great live stream last night. Yo, it was phenomenal. Miss Priscilla, if you also wish to come up, let us know. And let me see. Oh, I don't even have like your IG or whatever, but let us know if you want to come up and what Mr. Intellectual Soapbox still, he'll just post a link, and then once you come up, then we could just delete the link. But definitely thank you for tuning in, because we definitely want to hear like a woman's perspective. She says, I can't tonight. I got a model and a few. Hey, no worries though. Appreciate you for stopping by. But yeah, if you're now just tuning in, okay, again, there's a teacher, right? She's 24 years old. But she gets pregnant by a student by one of her students at the age of 13. And the 13-year-old's parents gave the consent for him to be in an intimate relationship with the teacher. He'll spend the night at the teacher's house. They'll, bump and grind like the R. Kelly song. And then she'll drop off in the morning so he could catch the bus on his way to school. Now, ain't that something?
Oh man, what's y'all? Man, it must be some laws up in there that consent with the money. Yeah, the parents has to. Yeah, some of that blame goes on the parents, but no wonder she wasn't. Oh man, I would have to investigate that, because I want to know the laws. Because if it seems like it's consent with the minor, and it could be the laws the reason why she was able to have the relationship. So. Oh yeah, that's yeah. I would like to get in deep in that.
Right. But first, gotta give a warm salute to Mr. He Said. Thank you for tuning in into the building, Mr. He Said. Mr. He Said, real quick, did you catch like the first clip about the teacher?
Yeah, I got the end of it, but I got the gist though. Yeah, that's unfortunate, and only because he's not at an age where he can give consent. It's impossible, just based off law. So, I'm a little perplexed at that part. But I came in on the tail end. So if you want to play it again, you can. I wouldn't be opposed.
No, I don't mind playing it again, right? A person said, "Oh, real talk. Teacher may have mental issues or pedo history. At the end of the day, though, what the F?" Yes. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play it one more time, okay? Because I feel like it's important for people to really hear this.
Yeah, play that.
And I'll play it like in let me see. I'm gonna play it like in high speed.
Well, new developments in a case that shocked the country. The teacher impregnated by her 8th grade student will face a judge for the first time this morning. Our Sophia Ojeda is live downtown with the latest and some pretty serious charges against her, Sophia.
Fair use.
Yeah, good morning, Rachel. She is now facing continuous sexual abuse of a child after she admitted to having a sexual relationship.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on for a second. Did I just see downtown Houston? Oh, you know, but she's probably still like, okay, maybe where the lady's at, she's in
Relationship with her
downtown
eighth grade
Houston,
student.
but definitely the teacher's
Prosecutors
from the
say
Bay Area.
24-year-old Alexandria Vera, a teacher at Stovall Middle School, not only engaged in a sexual relationship with one of her 13-year-old students, the mother of one also got pregnant by the eighth grader. But in court documents, Vera says the student's parents knew about the relationship and they approved of it.
So I know they went a little bit fast, but it says
Approved of it.
the parents knew about the relationship.
Right.
So
And did you hear though? Did you hear? They said she's being charged for continuing. That means it must be something in that law that she wasn't thrown in jail before, and then she got pregnant and she had a child.
Yeah, like
it has to be something within that law that she did not go to jail and they let her go some type of way, because they said continuing, so they must have told her in the court to stop. Just like it was another woman like that too. I think she was in Ohio, and she still kept going. Matter of fact, I think she did go to jail. Then but that's something different. But what they said they're continuing. Oh, something is up. Something ain't adding up on that one.
Yeah, let me see. Let's see, because something's not really adding up. Because I know, like, California, like, we don't play that type of stuff. So
Answer, Sophia.
But see, okay,
Texas just changed their law in 2019.
This video at the time was like, how old was this video? It's not even showing the date.
I mean, but like Von Eric said, they're very specific in their wording, saying continuing.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's something that she would have discontinued, maybe she wouldn't even be held accountable.
Right.
But since she continued with this, you know, again, this child isn't able to give consent. So no matter who knew, it's against the law, because this child is not able to give, you know, authority over said action. So the parents are implicit at this point, in my opinion.
Right, but Mr. He said, why? Like you said, she's supposed to have been in jail, but why didn't she go for the first time when she first went to court? When she got pregnant, why didn't she go to jail after while she was having that baby? Because that means the reason why they saying continuing, because it must have been something within the court case that they told her not to do. They must felt that she shouldn't be with this person or having a relationship. But I would like to know those first charges that she had, and then why she didn't go to jail then. You know what I'm saying? Why she didn't go to jail then? Because what you're saying is, if it's against the law in there, why did she go to jail for the first time? Plus, I would like to know how many times did she go to court on this, and what was her charges?
Yeah, they wasn't really specific on that. They just kind of left it as a cliffhanger, and just kind of like, all right, well, she did this, you know, she's going to jail, but you know, she's about to get released on probation, you know, by bail, and yeah, it was. They didn't really. I feel like they didn't want to get too deep on that, and I don't know why they didn't, but it was just like, okay, maybe it felt like it was typical.
Right
now.
And what Priscilla said is right on point. How was she able to teach after that? So that means it must be something in those laws or something going on. How did she get off and then was able to keep her job around minors?
Yeah, that's unique.
Yeah.
Salutes to QueBee, Q from the Q spot.
Hey, Sister Q.
How were the parents okay with this? All right. This okay, so this is my hypothesis, right? Now, maybe, right? Because you know, now these days you can't just assume it's like you know, one of those two-parent households where it's like, you know, male and female. They could have been both males. You know what I mean? The point is, where I'm coming from is that, as weird as this may sound, this is like a dad's dream for his son, you know, not to get, you know, get someone pregnant, but probably like at that type of caliber, you're like, damn, my son's hitting like a fine chick or whatever. And she a teacher? Man, my son must be the coolest kid up in this middle school right now. I don't know. Sometimes men, like, they just think weird shit. You know what I mean? Not all of them, but a few of them, I'll say.
Oh, so
where in the world that's okay?
Right.
And the thing is, and she says that's also disturbing.
Right.
I get you on that one.
Well, I see what you. So you said, yeah, I see what you said because the thing is, would it be? The thing is, when it comes to a girl, it's different. It looks because if I had a daughter, I'd be like, oh, but you saying it since it's a boy, fellas be like, oh man, my homie doing his thing. He got an older chick or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. You know, and no lie, I guarantee, right? You know, like and if it wasn't like, you know, like maybe like two males in the household, and let's just say like the father and the mother, I guarantee both parents did not agree to that. I bet you it was just like maybe him talking to the dad or whatever. And it was like, you know, like, dad, like this was going on and such. And dad probably was like, you know, son, I can't be more prouder than what you're doing right now. You know, he probably gave him Trojans and all that stuff, right? But, you know, shit happens. Now, the thing is, I'm damn for sure if an older woman, okay, comes to the mother and tells the mother, hey, I'm in a relationship with my student, which is your son, I guarantee the mother's going to flip. She's going to probably want to beat the bitch up or whatever, but she is going to flip her wig. Ain't no way in hell both parents agreed to that.
Yeah.
But still says, I'm a mom of a 15-year-old, so this situation okay, I didn't see that because it was so small. This situation don't sit right with me. You know? No, I get you. I definitely.
If y'all look up the Texas law, because that was just changed because it was happening in 2016. But you can still, it's a consent, whatever it was, you have to go to they changed it that you would have to go to the judge and the judge approve when it comes to consent for underage. So that's everybody need to check every law in their state and see what the consent law and as far as mine, because that's important.
I just know, like, it's very, unless like you're in what, like Maryland or whatever, or some type of like country state, because we did this before, like when it was okay for a kid to get like legally married.
Right.
Well, actually, that was like just the marriage part, but
right.
As far as an intimacy without marriage, like, there's no way, like,
without consent, right? You talk about without consent, right?
Mm-hmm. Even though it's consent, like, there's no way,
right?
You know,
because I know the federal law is 14, marriage consent. That's federal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, definitely.
But the states, you have to, especially Texas. I think they just changed theirs in 2019 because it was a case down there.
Yo, we live in such a crazy country because if you look at this dynamic, you know, is icky and crazy to all of us, which rightfully so. But years later, you get, you know, cougars, which is an older woman, and, you know, a situation with a younger man, and it's not shunned upon at all. It's actually, you know, acclimated. But a younger man, let's say 30 years old, if he wants to date a 21-year-old, he's kind of creepy. He's 19. You're 30. She, you know, what do you guys have in common? So I absolutely get, you know, what you guys are saying, that if it's most masculine men, most bravado, chest poked out, machismo filled men would absolutely, you know, praise their sons to say, you know, my son is hitting the teacher He's definitely one of the lively kids in the school. But at the same time, like the brother said, if it was our daughters, we would have a completely different approach. And why is, the dichotomy of double standards in the age ranges, why is it so prevalent here in America to where, like I just said, this young dynamic versus when a woman gets older, the dynamic does like a 180.
I definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, right? Absolutely true. And I guess, is it because, especially when we look at it mentally, do we look at it, especially when it comes to our daughter, because the things that we did,
Indeed.
I don't mean to laugh, but just to think about it, the things that we did to women and things back in the day, and we start thinking about, oh, hell no, that we just go crazy because we start thinking on the stuff that we did. So I think that comes up a lot, especially in men and stuff like that, especially the ones with the chest poked out. It's different with the son, but the daughter, oh no. I start thinking of the things that, yeah, you're very right about that. But think about it, how can we go about, and how do we go about changing that mentality? Because does the same thing happens, because you got to worry about the girl emotionally, what she's going to mentally, and things like that for the rest of life. Does the same thing happens to the boys? Do they go through the same trauma as far as, being with an older woman? Matter of fact, they said this is the reason why R. Kelly did what he did, because he was with an older woman when he was a child. So is that looked at the same way also, or differently? And how do we go about changing that? You're on mute, M3.
Sorry. Salute to Princess K. If you didn't hear me the first time, that is definitely a good question, Vaughn. Isn't it? Unfortunately, society don't really care for young men. Mm-hmm. They just expect for us to deal with things through life, and they coddle the younger women. One of the things that came to my mind is as you guys was talking. Now, this would have been a totally different situation, and I think they would have worded it the way how they want to word it if it was a male teacher messing around with a young woman. Okay? All hell would have broke loose.
Oh, yeah.
That dude's name would forever been remembered. He would have had a sign. What's that thing called? But salutes to AR, man. Thank you for tuning in, my brother.
What up, man? It took me a while to get on. I was having audio issues, man.
Hey, y'all. What up, man?
What's going on?
Here.
What's up, buddy? How you doing today, bro?
Right, man. Here to get ratchet with y'all. You know what I mean? I want to say one thing, brother. He said the you're not using StreamYard anymore, right?
No, I'm using EV Mux.
I can't.
No, it gives you problems.
Yeah, it frees my whole computer up. So maybe if I use my phone, I'll try that out. I just want to let you know that.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm. All right, AR, did you get a chance to see the first reaction video?
I don't think I got to see it, but I was hearing a conversation about the teacher, right? As far as the parents knew. Y'all still in that topic? Yeah, move on.
Yeah.
No, we're still a little bit on that topic. And this is the teacher right here. So young, well, at that time, I think this was I forget how many years was this?
That's like my nephew's mom. That's crazy.
Yeah, young 24. Well, at the time, 24-year-old. Golden State Warriors fans, but unfortunately, she got caught up because she was messing with one of her students, 13-year-old kid. But the thing is, we can't really put the full blame on her because the kid's parents gave her the consent to mess with the kid. So every night, the kid would spend the night to her house. They'll bump and grind, and then she'll drop off in the morning so you can catch her bus to school and get to get to her class on time.
Shit is crazy.
Smashley. That's Smashley right there.
Mm-hmm. I'm with
you. Know, I can't relate to this. It's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around this because I didn't have teachers like my teachers were busted, man. Like when I thought of a teacher growing up, I didn't even think of them as a human. Like not as a nothing. They was old, bro. So I don't know what these.
Hey, same for me too, man.
I don't know. I mean, I can tell you one thing, especially in high school, if a lot of them were good looking, they would have been pregnant every year, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They would have been pregnant every year because the teachers that did look good. I went to George Westerhouse in Brooklyn, and yeah, they would. I mean,
yo, shout out to Westerhouse. My people went there, man. A bunch of my people went there.
Jay-Z, Biggie Small, Busta Rhymes, they all went there. Yeah, man. But yeah, man. I'm grateful that none of my teachers look good. Though. I'm happy. I would be right there on that screen.
I mean, what's really scary about this story is the parents. The parents being so acquiescent to the kids. And this is where we are, where, you know, we really want to be their friends in a lot of instances. I know none of us up here, but a lot of instances in America, the parents want to be the kids' friends. They want to kind of give them a place and a safe haven to behave in whatever manner. And it's like this no judgment area. And I think this is where a lot of it starts. We lived in an area, you know, similar to that for almost 10 years. And it was a lot of 15, 14-year-old house parties with alcohol. And parents know. It's like they rather them do it here than wait. No, not at all. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. But, you know, this is the air in which we cultivate now. And when a child can be having relations with an adult and the parents are okay, when they can proclaim their sexuality to us and we have to acquiesce, and not only acquiesce, proclaim it to others, or we're wrong. It just puts everybody in a certain position to where it's hard to really operate in organic truth because A, you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. B, you don't want to create a black sheep type of scenario. And C, you want to still, you know, send these kids to a school and have them learn, but at the same time, let them learn about life. And that's about girls and about growing up and relationships. And all of this is a perfect storm for a young teacher with a young mindset. And, you know, we see where it leads. But for me, again, the scariest part is these parents, because if they were a little more involved, if they were a little more mature, if they were a little more astute, then, you know, they probably would have picked up on it a little earlier and not be grandparents so early.
Yeah. This is actually normal. You know, in urban communities, I remember seeing in junior high school, you would have across the street where the 20-year-olds, they used to come to the junior high school, and the girls used to go over there. The parents been, I think it's, maybe I'm wrong, but I think a lot of, especially in 2022, a lot of the fathers are happy their sons are having heterosexual sex because they don't want them to be gay, so they rather them do that. But we had Boosie go on a public platform and talk about he had his son get head at 13 or 15, and
at a party.
He didn't get canceled. He hired the woman to do that. So that's prostitution. Nothing we support.
And I think he said the same thing. There's Mr. He said he'd rather have it done around him than him to be out in the street doing it. So yeah, he said that same line. That that it's AS. You said when you said they used to pull up in the high schools, right, with the cars and stuff like that.
Man, junior high school, school too, but the junior high school,
yeah,
they'd be across the street, and the girls would just
Yeah.
Run over there.
Yeah, I see
Crazy.
them. Yeah, I used to say because guys used to pull up in the latest cars, the brand,
Yep.
and pull up in front of the schools. Yep, and girls be
We
coming
don't get
out.
no play. The girls be wanting to go with them, and it's like,
Yep.
Hey guys, hold on real quick. I gotta read Princess K's comments because this is damn, that's a lot of shit. But she says, I remember I was waiting to get picked up. A teacher tried to get me to stay in the classroom, and I said no. They were trying really hard. That teacher was arrested for rape, you know what that means, of students 3 weeks later. I'm like, oh shit. And then she says, I was 13 in the 9th grade. It was a scary experience, and I wish there weren't teachers like that or parents that condone that. Shake my head. She also continues by saying, yeah, I remember that the girls in school thought it was a big flex to have an older boyfriend. They would have him drop off food during lunch too, just to brag. And last, she says, my school was also by a park frequented by Bloods and Crips. It was cool to have one of them as a boyfriend, as if thug life was so great. Well, especially back then, like, you know, thugs and, you know, was definitely glorified. But man, I'm glad that you didn't get caught up in that, Princess K.
Absolutely, Princess K. Shout out to you, and screw those creepy ass teachers. But I think we were all cultivated in that same garden. Check this out, y'all. Just two examples. Boys in the Hood. No, I'm sorry. Menace to Society. Kane was messing with his father figure's girlfriend. She was a little older than he was. Juice, the same thing. He was in high school. Shorty was a nurse. And this is what we were taught to ascribe to. And LL Cool J, booming system. From the bottom to the top, cruise is 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to a school that gets out at 3 o'clock. He's driving a car. So, you know, we've been cultivated in this garden of this lifestyle since we all been young. But here's the double edge to the sword. It made us be more mature. To ascribe to those women, we had to be more earthy. We had to be more well-rounded. We had to be more well-read. We had to be a little ahead of our time to even be recognized by those women. So, you know, it came with a certain air of maturity in our day. Nowadays, it's a lot different. And I think that's the difference in itself, is that you don't have those rites of passage that lead you to a mature situation, a mature person, and go through all of those necessary, you know, changes and triumphs to get you to that point. I think they just thrust to that point now. And, you know, this is where we are.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that was good. That was good wisdom right there. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. AR, you wanted to say something real quick?
Yeah, no, I can't imagine my wife would cheat on me with a 13-year-old. That's just. Was this lady married? Because a lot of them be married.
Well, she already had a kid, so she was already
the kid.
Maybe look, AR, maybe she was a single mother, because that's what it sounds like to me. And yeah,
I thought the kid that she had was by him.
I
thought the kid that she has is by the boy.
No. That's going to be her second kid.
Oh,
because they already called it that she was already a mother of the mother of another child, her own child. She was already pregnant by the 13-year-old.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So that 13-year-old could have had HIV at 13 years old. So she was going raw. But the thing about it is that these people need the death penalty. We need to increase capital punishment, because how do you rehabilitate someone like this?
I perfectly agree, but I would like to know, how did she get away with it? the first time? Because it says continuing. How did she get away and keep her job? I'm stuck on that one. How did she go to work? How did she go into that courtroom and leave? I'm sorry, I just can't get past that one because it says I'm stuck on that word continuing. So how many is continuing? 60, 30, 10?
Let's go back to that real quick. The part where they said continue.
By the 8th grader. But in court documents, Vera says the student's parents knew about the relationship and they approved of it, allowing the teen to spend the night at Vera's home in spring where they would engage in sex on a regular basis.
Where they would engage with sex on a regular
basis.
She told an investigator she would drop him off at home in the morning so he could catch the bus to school. The relationship allegedly lasted for 4 months, ending in January with a pregnancy that Vera terminated.
I think I gotta go back real quick.
Of a child after she admitted to having a sexual relationship with her 8th grade student.
Try to find a continuous part.
Prosecutors say 24-year-old Alexandria Vera, a teacher at Stovall Middle School, not only engaged in a sexual relationship with one of her 13-year-old students, the mother,
of course, fair use.
One also got pregnant by the 8th grader. But
let me go back. A mother of
got pregnant by
he said the mother of one. She said.
Also got pregnant by the 8th grader. But in court documents, Vera says the student's parents knew about the relationship and they approved of it, allowing the teen to spend the night at Vera's home.
Case that shocked for the first time this morning. Our Sophia.
She admitted to having a continuous sexual abuse of a child after she admitted to having a sexual relationship with her 8th grade student. Prosecutors say 24-year-old Alexandria Vera, a teacher at Stovall Middle School, not only engaged the relationship allegedly.
Anyway, I can't.
She got rid of it though. She got rid of it.
What you talking about?
Yeah.
From a 13-year-old. Oh.
Yeah, they're about to say it right now. Yep.
Oh, I didn't even hear that part. Let me see.
For 4 months, ending in January with a pregnancy that Vera terminated. Him off at home in the morning so he could catch the bus to school. The relationship allegedly lasted for 4 months, ending in January with a pregnancy that Vera terminated.
Oh, the end of a pregnancy that she terminated. Oh, okay.
Yeah, go back to the very beginning. Can you go back to the very beginning? Because I think that's what.
New developments in a case that shocked the country. The teacher impregnated by her 8th grade student will face a judge for the first time this morning. Our Sophia Ojeda is live downtown with the latest and some pretty serious charges against her, Sophia.
Fair use.
Yeah, good morning, Rachel. She is now facing continuous.
See, there you go.
Continuous.
Now facing continuing.
Let me slow this down real quick.
Now facing continuous sexual abuse of a child after she admitted. Good morning, Rachel. She is now facing continuous sexual abuse of a child after she admitted to having
continuous abuse. So you know what? Okay, I think I understand what she's saying. So what she's trying to say is that like when she means continuous abuse, she's saying that each time, like when they're having sex, she's counting that as continuous abuse for that particular child. So because at the end part, it was saying that they was like almost every day they was going to each other's not to each house to her house where they was just having sex like every night. So that was continuous. Continuous abuse.
Absolutely.
And the parents allowed it. That's
absolutely. And he was coming home in the morning to wash up before he go to school. They knew exactly what was going on.
See, the continuing is just
so now you got your answer, Vaughn, for that. Yeah.
What was his grades like? I mean, like, you know.
I'm pretty sure he got an A in her class.
Exactly.
What was his grades like?
Look, he had all excellence in his level of performance. Okay, his stamina. Okay.
I wasn't active at 13 years old. It's weird. I don't know. These kids
if he had reached that peak, did he get a failing grade?
It's pedophilia, man. I mean, sometimes I don't. Of course, I don't view it as pedophilia.
Mm-hmm.
It is, but I think that just kind of like puts it because it's a boy, and
and it's a young.
Still, it's 100% wrong. I'm not saying it's not wrong. It is wrong. Just that sometimes, like, but No, man.
Well, AR, like I said, like before, like they only brushed it off, right? Because this is like, a attractive 24-year-old. She's a woman, of course. And the young boy is just a young boy. So they look at America, the way how they look at it's like, well, hell, he probably had the best time of his life. So he have no regrets. They think that he might not even want to have suffered any type of mental trauma from that. You know what I mean? Some people, even though the woman says continuous abuse, but the majority of men might not even look at it. They probably would wish that, man, I wish I was that boy right now, like, getting some. She probably gave him, gave him, hog head cheese and all that, if you know what I mean.
Parents definitely need to be charged too. They need throw the boy, the teacher, the parents, the just throw the whole thing away. Everyone. The person reporting the news, throw them away too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I would like to. Okay, but this was only for 4 months. So now I'm still, because I would like to know, did she ever was charged before this? So maybe she wasn't. Maybe they just.
I don't really think so.
Yeah, maybe.
I think this is probably her first charge ever.
Right.
And the only way how like she got in trouble because, like I said,
right.
Come on, if I was a 13-year-old kid, you think I would keep that shut? Especially if my teacher hella fine and all that, and she older. Come on now, I'll be telling like all the kids from our block, man. I'll just be getting all kinds of brownie points.
I probably lasted 4 months though. Probably because the parents been telling them. What kind of conversation is that? That's weird. But what was it? Was she paying them?
Yeah, I would like to.
That's brag worthy if she was paying him like that. And shout out to Big Rick Slaps in the building.
Where did this happen at? Where did this happen at? In Cali?
I thought it was in California because I saw like the Golden State Warriors shirt, but then like it seemed like it took place in Texas, so I'm not for sure.
Wow.
Obviously she's not like a Dallas Mavericks fan, I'll tell you that. And salutes to Stan Joseph. What's up, my brother? Thank you for tuning in. Stan Joseph, what's happening? Feel free to come up if you wish. We'll definitely send you a link if you want to. All right, but yeah, like we'll talk about her for another minute, and then we're gonna go on to the pastors, man. Because remember, the subject is teachers, preachers, and pimps.
That's crazy.
But overall, right? Because I did say are that are same scammers. Hey, teachers be scamming too, though, on a grimy type of level. They'll scam you as far as selling you like the dream. Giving her promise. Yo, you give me some, or you let me slurp you up or whatever, and I'll give you like this A+. Or I'll give you the best. Matter of fact, you come to my place tonight and we'll have some study time. You know what I mean? And tomorrow I'll allow you to go on like a nice little field trip. So shout outs to Stan, aka Shooter, aka the Hitman. And then Wally says easily Riggs, Big Rig slaps. Big Rig says, Wally, I rock with you, man. So salutes to everybody in the chat. Everyone, please definitely get the likes up. Help build an algorithm by sharing the videos to your friends and family. I don't care how you do it, but definitely please share the videos. And also follow Big Rig Slaps here and Knowledge and Relationships here on YouTube. So shout out to everybody, man, for your support.
Man. One thing I want to say is that my father was very laid back, right? He has his issues where he lacks empathy, right? He's diagnosed. But my mom, she didn't want love. She wanted fear. She didn't care about that love shit. It's very rare I got a hug. I hug her a lot more now, but growing up, she had a lot of boys. She wanted fear. I couldn't do that at 13. I would be scared to do that at 13 because I think my mom would have killed her. My mom found out something like that. She would have killed her. I just don't understand how these parents are not involved. Well, I mean, they are involved. They allowed it. That's crazy. The parents may have been doing something to that child. How do you get to? How does it start at that point where? How did this teacher feel comfortable coming to the parents about the?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, we'll be spending like the whole night just trying to diagnose this teacher and the young boy like himself, because I feel like definitely a mental illness comes into play on this. You know, because I mean, come on now, like,
No, it's not mental illness. Nope,
it's not mental illness.
They're just evil. She's just an evil bastard. When you keep blaming mental illness, that means she needs help, medication. She shouldn't be arrested. No, she's responsible. Her and the parents, they're not all mentally ill. They're just evil.
That's a good way to put it. I'll say that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's no way around it, man, to try to sugarcoat it, unfortunately. Yeah. That's just some straight wickedness right there, man. Like,
I know her baby father's like, I'm glad I'm out. Glad he left me. Brother, he said, take care, man. God bless.
Oh, you out, bro? He said, all right, man. Salute.
Yeah, y'all have a good night, man. I'll see y'all later.
All right,
Peace.
All right.
Back, y'all.
Shout outs to QueBee. Thank you for joining in the building, QueBee.
Q, what up, man?
Hey y'all.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing. I'm doing.
Okay. That's what's up. You know, it's good that you came, because then, you know, we could also have a woman's perspective on things. Well, real quick, QueBee, right? I don't know if you, was listening like in the beginning, or if you saw like the reaction video. I want to get your thoughts real quick before we move on to the preachers.
Okay.
But what do you think about this woman right here? Let me show her real quick. This woman right here who got impregnated by one of her, middle school students. The boy's a 13-year-old kid. Okay. Parents gave the consent for pretty much for him to come over to her house.
Oh.
He was bumping and grinding until she got pregnant. Now she terminated the kid. That's also, in addition to that part too, though. She a baby killer, But what do you think about that stuff? I want to just get your thoughts before we move on.
Okay, well, I was going to say this is not a unique story, because there was another story many years ago of something similar, but the parents did not give permission in that case. I want to say that I want to believe that the parents didn't know exactly why. Maybe if they thought she was giving him extra tutoring or something. Like, it could have been under false pretenses as to why they were allowing this little boy, or she requested for him to come over her house or whatever.
Oh no! The parents gave the consent. The woman was bold enough to let the parents know that they're in a relationship, a secret relationship. And the parents gave the okay for the boy to spend a night at her house. So he'll go spend a night, do what he need to do, and then she'll drop him off back to his place in the morning, so he get ready, catch a bus, and get to her class.
Ain't no way on God's green earth, in heaven and hell. I'm a mother of a son, and I was in my feelings when he was 20 and dating a woman who was 26. So at 13, oh no, hell no. That was not happening. But what I can say, I mean, there may be some, people want to say everything is mental illness. Sometimes it's just people make poor effed up decisions without, they feel they can make decisions with no consequences. But there is some deeper, and I really I hate to say mental illness, there is something deeper there. Because first of all, what would make you want to be with someone that young, that impressionable, that is still trying to figure out who they are at 13? They probably don't even have chest hairs. So, I mean, their voice hasn't gotten deeper. Their balls probably hadn't even drawn up. But anyway, I'm not trying to be all graphic and whatever, but y'all know Well, being 13 is late. So,
All right.
anywho.
All right, thank you, QB. We also have Queen Forever 2K in the building as well too.
Hey, Queen.
Hello, hello.
Yeah. All right, Queen. Let me ask you this though: did you get a chance to watch the reaction video?
No, but I've been watching here and there. I know about this story.
Okay, okay. Well, quickly,
Yeah.
right before we move on to the next topic, tell me if your thoughts. What what if you know the kid that was doing the things that with the teacher that they're doing, like at the time of the video? How would you react to it? What would be your thoughts?
Well, I think when you look at the teacher, you got to wonder how old she is.
Hmm.
She looks very, very young herself.
She's
And I think,
24. The kid is 13.
yeah. Well, a lot of people get in certain professions because they're predators
Mm.
and they want to um, take advantage of younger people or, weaker or vulnerable. So I think it's unfortunate because, you know, there's a teacher shortage, but then you have all these incidents where teachers are sleeping with their students or marrying their students or doing whatever. So I think it's not necessarily a mental health. I think it's more, well, I mean, a lot of it is trauma, when you dig back into someone else's background, a lot of times they probably once was a victim of something, never got dealt with, so then they turn out to be predators themselves. Um, so yeah, I think it's unfortunate. I'm not surprised. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I think she should be put in jail. And if I was his sister, I mean, the parents should be thrown under the jail as
Mhm.
well. They should be the foundation of the jail, the parents, and and she should be the door to the cell.
Right, right.
But yeah, I mean, if I mean, I was shocked to see that the parents actually was okay with him going over there or whatever else. I think it's disgusting. So, but that's why I have a job.
Yep,
And I'm gonna
yep.
say that again.
All right. So now, thank
But
you,
it's
Queen.
also a problem because when you look at certain things on TV and
Mhm.
even cartoons, anime, the 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 women are always overly sexualized in how they look in their bodies in schoolgirl uniforms. So, this whole, you know, thing is just it's a mind it is a sickness, you know. I can't form the words, but it's just, I don't get it. It's like grown men having sex with babies. Like, what are you getting from
Mhm.
a 9-month-old? Like, what is stimulating you to have sex with a 9-month-old? It's a sickness. So yeah. Anyway,
Right, right. Well, thank you for sharing, Queen. And then from this point, we're gonna go on to
She
the
said
next
she got to spell out my whole name.
topic.
That's funny. What
Right.
up, just a splash?
Salutes, and also salutes to Mr. Glucose as well too. So shout outs to everyone in on the panel. Thank you for tuning in. Salutes to you, my brother. All right. Now we'll get on to like the preachers, man. Okay. So you probably heard about this preacher before, the preacher in Brooklyn. Um, First time that he got robbed during like his service, and then second time he did something on a live. Some unruly woman came about, and he had to put his hands on her. Got to choke her up. So let's go with this one real quick. Where is it? We'll go. We'll go with this first part. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Can you guys see it? All right, here we go.
The moment Bishop Lamar Whitehead abruptly stopped his sermon Sunday.
All right.
Police say 3 men entered the second-floor church space on Remsen Avenue in
Fair use.
Canarsie. The bishop dropped to the ground, and the church live stream shows one man with a gun on the bishop and another removing his jewelry.
Which is kind of weird that you're going to go on a live stream and rob them at gunpoint.
Off camera, his wife, Bishop Asia Whitehead, says a gun was also held to her 8-month-old Brooklyn, who was in her arms. She says that was...
So off camera, okay, the thugs or whatever, pointing the gun at her 8-month, kid.
happening while the suspect removed items including her wedding ring and Episcopal jewelry.
As a mother, as a wife, and just myself personally in general, it's one of the most traumatic experiences that I've ever been involved in. My priority was to secure my children.
Fair use.
Not only to secure them physically, but to secure my babies emotionally, to secure them mentally.
She says their 14-year-old daughter, Heaven, was also there and says she's okay. Right after the heist, the live stream shows frazzled congregants trying to leave. Police sources say there were 25 parishioners.
Okay, for use, blah, blah, blah.
Sources tell us there was no security at the time. Monday, the bishop said he will bring in a therapist for the congregation, and he's giving the NYPD $50,000 to go towards information leading...
Yeah, me balling like that? $50,000? Okay.
...to finding the suspects.
Let the Holy Spirit arrest them. Let the Holy Spirit, come on, do something in their mind that would prompt them to want to change their life.
Sunday, Bishop Whitehead told us...
This one said, let the Holy Spirit...
Even her phone case is a name brand? Damn.
Wait, let me go back.
Come on,
Christian
do something
Dior.
in their mind
Wow.
that would prompt them to want to change their life.
Sunday, Bishop Whitehead told us he does not take a salary from the church, and he believes his family was targeted because of the publicity he received back in May when
Nice gold chain, though.
he showed up in a Fendi suit to help turn in the suspect wanted it.
In a Fendi suit. Wow. They
Now,
had
let me-
that in there.
Let me just say something, right? That was like, I didn't know that was the same pastor. That is a huge. So that bastard right there, he was on I think he was on the F train. I think he's on a D train. And a guy that works in Goldman Sachs, he just randomly shot him for like early in the morning, randomly shot him on a train in Brooklyn, just randomly shot him. And then that pastor showed up in a Rolls Royce to try to convince NYPD that this guy is innocent. No, he's on camera. It's funny how this pastor is connected to so many different things, right?
Well, we're gonna get to that like in a minute, AR, because from what I heard, he had a very interesting track record. So let me go ahead and finish this off.
In the fatal subway shooting of 48-year-old Daniel Enriquez.
The media called me the bling bling bishop.
The NYPD says the suspects fled.
Well, I mean, you're wearing your jewelry, so I mean, like, and it's blinking, so you got the Rolls Royce, and yeah. Anyway.
On foot and got into a white Mercedes-Benz. Fortunately, no one was injured. In Canarsie, Brooklyn, Lisa Rosner, CBS 2 News.
Okay. Now, the second video I'm going to play, this is the footage from TMC.
Let me also point out, he don't always go live during his church service, just so you know.
You don't always go live? So
Nope.
just like every now and then?
When he's getting robbed.
Wow. Sometimes I feel like, like some of the stuff is staged, though, in my opinion, just to try to gain some type of sympathy or something. I don't know. All right. So this is the unruly woman. All right. So there's no audio on this point, but I mean, I could probably find something like, where there's a little bit of audio, but she's coming to him. Okay. Let's fast forward some of the stuff. All right. Let's get to the point where, like, now he's up in her face, and I think he's telling her, like, you could go or whatever. And then right here, this is his wife, throwing up the Holy Ghost or whatever, and she got her child. And then I guess as she starts to walk, she's walking back and forth now. Come on, lady. As she starts to walk forward, He grabs her in the back of the neck and escorts her out, which created for more
It looked like she was going at his wife.
Yeah, that's what the guy said. See, like, okay, on live, what happened was like he was preaching, and then Lady was standing in front, and then he came and then he grabbed her in the back of the neck as she was walking out, and that was the controversy part. But then he had a second camera, salute to Bold TV, which shows that she was going after his wife and his kid. And since he already had like an experience, with the people pointing at him with a gun point, that's when he kind of reacted, and he grabbed her, and pushed her out. Now he said he didn't choke her, but you could kind of tell he kind of did, And just specials, all you can do is laugh when Empty says you got a track record. Yes, definitely. We got to pull up the receipts, Mr. Glucose says time to be a pastor. That's where the money's at. Absolutely. Okay. Bold TV, if you ever want to come up, feel free to come through.
Which one happened first? The robbery? Or
the robbery came in first.
Oh, okay.
And then later, some woman came up there loud, usual as ever, and then she came through, and then that's when he had to, put the gangster Christian on her.
That's not the one that somebody gave him $90,000 or something too. Is that her or no?
I'm not really for sure, Vaughn.
Well, that guy, in several cases where he was supposed to close on different houses for real estate.
Right.
And he kept the money.
Yeah.
400,000, 900,000, 50,000, 100,000.
Well, if I say this, I tell you this. You ain't reading that Bible good, because Hezekiah the king, he got robbed. He was showing off all his stuff in his castle, and God told him, the Nebuchadnezzar crew is going to come in and rob you. Took his sons and turned them into eunuchs. So he is around there showing off that jewelry and things like that. Same thing happened to Hezekiah the king. Came in and took all his stuff that he had in his castle. So he's definitely not, that right there just is nuts to me.
Another thing too, I think he went to okay, I don't know if this was before he was a pastor or whatever, but from what I heard, he did went to jail a few times or prison, and one of the reasons why he went to prison, I think it had something to do with money laundering or something, or it had something to do with him scamming people. So a lot of times when these people they come up, especially his his sermons, especially when he goes live and they acting a fool, most of the reasons why it's because people are claiming he did something to them, like he scammed out of their money and they want their money back, and that's why they're retaliating the way that they're doing. Now you don't see that happening to TD Jakes and some of these other mega pastors or mega churches or whatever. It just so happens that he's having so much trouble at his congregation. And then when you look at him, I'm trying to find a video where when he be talking, he's literally sitting in his car, and you could tell he's just living lavishly. So
Extremely,
yeah. So dude ain't broke, he ain't struggling. But I'm for sure, the members of the church are struggling, but those are the ones that's actually giving their tithes and offerings to him and helping him to become rich. And like Mr. Glucose was saying, okay, let's say the robbery was staged, right? Because they only took his chain, the wife's wedding ring, and all that.
It's up to I think it was close to $1 million
that they stole, right?
It was they said it was $500,000.
So think about it like this though, okay? Becoming Enoch is a heck of a robbery indeed. Yikes. So imagine this. you're getting robbed, but where would the robbers know where you're stashing your money at? And if you accumulated so much in the congregation from the congregation, wouldn't the money should already be in the bank? If it was over like $1 million, like that's like $1 million of cash. If that's the case,
I think he had $1 million. I think he had a half of jewelry. They said. I think he said it was what he had on because they took his jewelry. But I tell you where they do where the money was. That guy that was in the corner with the Bible ain't.
He didn't flinch at all, yo. That dude didn't.
That's who told him where the money. That's who told him where the money is. He didn't flinch at all.
You know what I think? I personally think he melted the jewelry. He put on fake jewelry. I honestly believe that day he put on fake jewelry.
Mm.
He put on fake jewelry. They robbed him. If they robbed him, because he is addicted to attention. I mean, I know we throw around the word narcissist around a lot, but I think he craves attention.
Mm.
He craves it. Have you ever seen his videos of his walk-in closet? His walk-in closet is like an apartment of nothing but expensive clothing.
And how many church does he have? More than one churches, right?
Bro, he only got 10 church members.
Huh?
He has less than 10 church members.
Was this after the robbery?
During the robbery, after the robbery, he don't have his. He has a pretty a nice sized church, but there's not that many people in there.
Yeah, I know because there's a lot of empty seats.
So how much they give him to commit all that?
No, because you understand, he said he don't take a salary during that interview when he was speaking. This is all a tax write-off.
Mm-hmm.
This is just that's all this is. Is just he receives a lot of benefit from being a pastor, but he Rolls Royces, crazy man.
That's why I'm saying if he only got. That's why I'm saying how did he? I mean, 10 members the most. How is he getting that much money? He got there's something else going on there. It has to be Rolls Royce, and then you said his closet's like an apartment. Oh man, it must be
nothing but Louis Vuitton. I mean, just expensive clothing, bro. Like, damn.
I thought he had 10 churches, but you said just 10 members. Goodness.
No, so those 10 members are balling. They're doing something good, but they're giving him the majority of money.
And
let me tell you
remember,
something. If they was balling, they would have got their ass robbed too.
Just remember, if he's preaching at a different church, he gets paid for those events as well.
Wow. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoa, goodness! What church is he? He must be preaching at T.T. Jakes or Joel Osteen.
Not like that. Both he says he owns like a lot of property. So if he owns property, then that's probably what's helping him sustain himself.
But he also could be hiding behind a church and doing other things. So you never know. People got side hustles that are legal and non-legal all day.
That's what I was thinking, Queen. Because
I mean, if you look at the chairs.
Right.
Those are not pews. Those were like
right.
some living spaces.
Right. That's why
Wayfair chairs, you know.
That's why I was saying it must be something more to that because he don't have that many members. Like AS said, he don't have 10 members. Yeah, it must be something else going on. That a side hustle that's bringing him. He's accumulated that much wealth like that.
QB, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm over here doing more research about him, and a lot of articles talk about money laundering, scamming people out of their retirement savings and things of that nature. So that's a lot of where his money is coming from if he doesn't take money from, service. Mm-hmm. And it's sad to me that I grew up in church, Black churches. I was a member of one. I mean, still kind of a member, but just haven't gone in a while. Anyway, I've seen a lot in the city that I used to live in. And it saddens me how ministers have gotten away from feeding the souls versus stuff in their pockets. Like, where is the the actual message of God? Where's the love? Where's the, all of that they say the Bible teaches and talks about? Like, it's all about the flesh and the. I'm not opposed to anyone having wealth, but if you're coming to a service like that, you said with 10 people, and you got on Gucci, Fendi Prada, and I'm wearing Walmart special, something is wrong with this picture here. Like, and then from the other stories that I've heard and read, his church is in a very low income neighborhood.
Yes. Right
And so
across the
it's
street
like,
from the projects.
and so what just his suits alone could probably pay 3 people's rent and buy groceries for 3 months. I mean, just for 1 or 2 suits, so
Yeah.
he needs to be investigated more. He needs to be knocked down off his little pedestal, his self-imposed pedestal. Do I wish harm on him? I would never wish evil on anyone. However, God is going to take care of him, and in the worst way possible. And the people ain't got to do nothing but sit back and watch it happen. He going to be his own downfall.
He wanted to box Dale Hughley. He's craving attention. He wants to do celebrity boxing. What kind of past?
Anyone in the chat wants to come up, let me know. Okay. The way how Christians make, sorry, Mr. Intellectual Subbox says the way Christians act makes him think it's more to the Bible and to life. Yeah, man. There's there's definitely more to it, man. Just right now, people, man, they're just not living that life, man. Their life and the doctrine is just not matching. Now, in this reaction, of course, this the pastor who was robbed in Brooklyn, right? Now I had to mute the music because I'm trying to copyright and all that. Anyways, she look the watch, everything. She was flexing.
So he's live, she's live while driving.
Mm-hmm. And I'm for sure they wasn't playing no Jesus music. I see. There you go, pulling up, right?
We back, y'all. We back. Mr. Whitehead. Y'all see Whitehead Estates. Listen, I'm telling y'all, join my real estate class. It started February the 5th.
Okay, so he has a real estate class.
Oh, so that.
Now look, maybe he's flexing because he's into the real estate business and
real estate do not go by.
This is the real estate life.
Apartment complexes renovated, and first and foremost, understand that God did it, not me.
Uh-huh.
God did all that. Yo, God, where's my Rolls Royce, man? Come on, man.
Let me read y'all something real quick. So the same week that he got robbed, it said at the same time troubles from his past were coming to surface. So a court records from New Jersey show that Bishop Whitehead owes more than $400,000 in judgments to a construction company that built his house and the credit union that finances Mercedes-Benz. Then he has been sued for scamming people. So he got bigger problems. And that real estate class is probably just another scam. He probably teaching them something we can look on Google for.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Oh, wow. Did you hear about that other pastor that not cusses his congregation, but he talked to him dirty for not buying him a watch? Did y'all hear about that one? Yeah.
Yes, I heard about that one.
Yeah, he got into him, told him they was like basically said y'all broke. No, that I was like, wow, because they ain't get him a watch.
I'm like, nigga, you could buy your own goddamn watch. I'm giving my 10%, my tithes and offerings. Like, go use that then. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah. So, he disrespect. I was like, oh, come on.
Hold on. And shout outs to Bold TV. Like, we see you in the building, so thank you for tuning in Bold TV. Give it an air horn. One time for the
Thank you
one.
for winding me up, bro.
All right.
What up, man?
What's up, Bolo?
What up, brother? What's going on, sisters? What's going on, everybody?
Nothing much, man.
Hello.
We're
How you
just
doing?
dissecting the pastors,
Well, I
man.
just came up here. Yeah, I just came up here to talk about it a little bit before I break out. You know, unlike you young men, I gotta get some sleep. You know, this is a systemic problem that we have in the church. You know, especially with you know, in the African American culture. You know, the gentleman says that he has a lot of property. Like he supposedly owns a block, city block, and that's where he makes his money. He doesn't take any bread from, the church. The problem is this, again, if you make your money, you make your money, right?
Mhm.
When you take on a position as what we call a reverend or a shepherd, there's some type of humility that you have to come with. It's just like, there's a position that you are in and you have to understand what you represent. And this man has no humility at all. And, what they're pushing is that prosperity gospel. It's that prosperity gospel. The more money you make, the more Christ will bless you. There's some pastor that tells you the more money you push into the church, Christ will come back faster. The problem is these parishioners that go to these churches are not opening the book and reading it themselves. That's the problem. So when these men and ladies are being scandaled, it's a twofold situation because you at the same time open up the same book. And when you look at these men, especially like the TD Jakeses and the Creflo Dollars, when you look at their parishioners, all of them have their Bibles open and all of them got pencils and papers, but nobody's writing anything down. Nobody. So when these men are talking about, the more bread you put in, the more Christ is going to give you. Nowhere in the Bible does it say this. And then we look at the King of Kings. He rode in on a donkey. He didn't come in on a Bentley. So, it's them pandering to the greed of the parishioners. It's not pandering. It's not them talking to the spiritualness of the person that needs to grow. So, it just goes to show you the people who are being taught and who are being led. It's just a picture of who they are as people. You have to understand that, the same way you search well to your goings for your job, for your home, to get home safely, do these are the same men that are praying and pouring into you. Same men and women pouring into you. So you ought to search well to your goings to make sure that these people that are pouring into you are kicking what the book say. The book is the book. You can open it up and read it yourself. We don't need anybody to be an intercessor between you and Christ. You don't need nobody. Those days of the priests are done. It's gone. You can go to Christ yourself. So when you have this guy pushing Bentleys and getting robbed for over almost $1 million worth of jewelry, where's the humility in that? Christ speaks about being humble. There's no humility in that at all. So that's my spiel. Big Sir Hell in the building.
Sir Hell, what up? And one thing I want to say real quick, keep in mind, property in New York City is not the cost is probably triple than most other places, just so you know. No way he could afford that. Yeah.
All right. Real quick, I want to give a shout, multiple shouts, but I want to give a shout out to Mr. Sir Hell Speaks. Thank you for tuning into the building, sir. Good to see you. And also, I got to give a shout out to the lovely Miss OG Patrice. Excuse me. Thank you for tuning in.
What's good, family?
What's good with you, OG Patrice? Definitely great to see you in the building. Before we continue, right? I gotta play this clip, okay? I'm not gonna play it for too long, but it's a little funny one, but sad but funny at the same time. So let me go ahead and play this clip real quick. Thank you for sharing us, Mr. Intellectual Soapbox. Okay, let me go ahead and do this. This is what people do when they use God in
make a man
vain.
offended to war and lay a snare. You know, they try to trip a nigga up like me, you know, because I ain't following Whitey's rules.
Fair use. He's already playing music, so, you know, whatever. I'm going to have to probably cut that off later.
The power of the Holy Spirit, God Almighty, you know, rule of heaven and earth and every goddamn thing in between. You understand me now? Reverend X, speak to me, state your name,
Fair use.
Say what? Motherfucker, I ain't looking for you. You probably looking for a cult member, motherfucker. You just heaven's gate, travel the hell up out of here.
Fair use.
Then you wrote a book too, then, right? You got a book with blood on it, huh? You Satan, huh? Who created your ass, Satan? Who created your ass? I come in the name of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit. I come in the name of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit.
All right. I think I had enough of them already. So hold on. Yeah. Anyways, you know, you got all kinds of people, man, that just like really like just giving Christianity, giving the Bible, Jesus, God, they're just giving them a bad rep, you know. And it's really sad, man, that you know, a place that people will call as a safe haven is now being turned into a literal universal joke. Sorry, joke. Sir Hell Speaks. I'm glad that you're in the building. Tell me, my brother, man, what's your thoughts right now? Great speech, but you're muted.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. So much respect to knowledge and relationships, guys. If you're watching this, like, subscribe, great platform. But that preacher does not represent anybody who knows that he ain't it, right? So I think it's important to know that there are a lot of different wolves. There's my favorite preacher. I think it's important to know that you know real. Whether you're religious or not, you know real when you see it. And so he is not a representation of the faith that we have. But I will say this: we've become so loose in our faith that anybody can pick up a Bible, throw on a suit jacket, and say all of the religious stuff, and you will get a following. And I think that as adults and as people, we have to hold people to a higher standard and accountable for things like that. It's only in this particular faith and religion do we allow that kind of stuff to take place without checking it. And we'll talk about it, we'll say something about it, but we don't really stop that. And I think that we have to do a better job of that, because that kind of stuff can make people who want to believe not believe at all because of what that representation was.
Got you.
Yeah, that's true. But Mr. Sir Hale, have you, in your experience, and probably been to different churches, have you seen, as church members that believe their pastor should look like that? They should have the best cause. Have you seen that in your experience going to different churches?
Just to clarify, which person we talking about? We're talking about the very last video that AR played, or the one before?
The one before.
Okay, I was going to say the last one. Listen, no church in America. Once the preacher just came right before this, but I'll say this: if a preacher, I think that we've promoted the gospel of poverty as well as the gospel of prosperity too much. And I say this, so we got extremes. We believe that if a preacher is successful, he must be using the Christians' money. Send him straight to hell. And if he's poor, well, that broke nigga, he can't tell me nothing, right? So we're extreme in terms of what we believe. We promoted the gospel of poverty to say that if you have little, then you must be closer to Jesus. Or if you have too much stuff, then you can't follow him. And I think if the truth is most preachers are bivocational. So if what they've acquired is based off of their work and not from the parishioners, and by the way, most people do not tithe, most people do not give, and these are just facts. If he's earned it the honest way, I don't think there should be a problem. The issue comes in when preachers become flashy. And I think it's a disgrace for us to, and this is not me speaking down on anyone, this is me speaking a fact, that if we are preaching to in communities that are impoverished, people are wondering when the next bill is going to come in, they can't pay rent, they're behind debt. I mean, name it, right? Schools are falling apart, and we're going into places with lots of money on. We're creating this illusion that the more faith I have, that means the more money I should have.
Yeah.
And what we have to stop doing is promoting that if you give to the church, God's going to give to you. What we should be doing is take the income that we have coming in and set up classes and teach people how to be financially responsible, teach people about money, teach people how to serve, and not only to give to the church, but to save for retirement, to save for insurance, to save for college funds. And I think that when we do that, we won't have to rely on the prosperity gospel, because we're not living for the prosperity of the gospel. We're acting from the principles of it. And I think that's what we have to start teaching.
Okay. Because you remember back in the days, Reverend Ike. You remember him? Okay.
I do, yeah. All love.
All right. OG Patrice, what's your thoughts?
Yes, sir. I'm a bit behind the stream. I thought you guys were still talking about the teacher. I actually wanted to comment on the nefariousness of that pedo predator female that took it. Yeah, but anyway, I have nothing to say anymore about talking about poverty pimps and Christianity or Muslims. I'm so over that. But I'll go back in the chat and I'll rock, because it's charlatans and pimps, and they just in different forms. They even on these YouTube streets. So people just got to be careful, period. You understand with who they listening to, and who they rocking with, and who they choose to get their money to. It's so funny to me that, if anybody talk very charismatic, or we I just wish Black people would stop feeling the need to want something so bad that they'll be willing to do almost anything for it, to get it, to belong, to listen, to be influenced by, certain people. So I just see a lot of the nefariousness that's been going on, within church. But again, I digress from that. But I'll be in the chat. I want to talk about the teaching.
Right. Is it okay, M3? Can she comment on that, M3? Is it okay for her to comment on that?
OG Patrice, well, okay, I'll tell you what, right? For you, we could go a little bit back, right? I don't want to go too back on the teacher part, right? Because we've been talking about the teacher thing for like a good hour and a half almost. But I'll let you give us like your thoughts about the teacher, like
No. Don't worry about it. I don't need no special treatment or anything. I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you guys were still talking about that, and then I came up and heard it was something else. So that is my bad. So like I said, I'll fall back. I'll let you guys rock on this subject. I'll stay in the chat and support you guys. Okay.
All right, no problem.
All right.
I mean, it would be nice, everybody. All right, no problem, OG Patrice.
All right.
So everybody, right? Okay, I have another video that I want to react to, because Vaughn, I think earlier you said something about I think it was you. You said something about like a preacher got mad because the congregation didn't have money for the watch or whatever. So Mr. Intellectual Soapbox found a video about it.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna react to this part real quick.
Okay.
All right. As always, fair use, people. Let's go ahead and play it. Proceed. Really? All because they couldn't buy him a watch. Oh, I thought he was gonna say like the other word. All right.
See,
All
now,
right.
if you listen to his words,
Mhm.
you know, because listening is an art. If you listen to his words, everything was about I. I'm not worth. I'm not worth. That's not what God teaches. That's not what
Mhm.
God is about. That's not what God teaches. God teaches that none of this is about man. This is all about him. This is why Christ tells you that women submit to their man as they submit to Christ. This ain't about us. It's about him. No glory is given to man. It is all given to Christ. And through the glorification of giving it to Christ, he gives you light because of who you are and who you represent. This guy here, it's all about him. And then you hear the parishioners in the background saying, go ahead, that's all right, you go ahead, you go ahead.
Mhm.
So you get what you get because you can open up that book and read it yourself. Everybody got a phone in their hand, and when you download that Bible app, it gives you every translation of it. So there is no reason on why you can't open it. Relationship with Christ is personal, bro. It's personal. You have to have a personal relationship with him. And if your personal relationship is gauged by that guy, by him, then you have a problem. You have a physical problem, a spiritual problem nonetheless. So this is what our problem is in the Black church. We're not reading. That's our problem. We're not taking the time to open up the book and read it ourselves and actually see what the Lord is saying so that he can move on us and in us. We put more quality on ourselves and in ourselves. And that's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, that's a very true statement. I was just tripping off when he said that he named something and said, y'all can't afford it. But then you just proved the reason why you didn't get your watch. Why when you said that, he gonna say y'all can't afford this. Well, if we can't afford that, that means we can't afford your watch. But I think what Bolo said is perfect. People need to read, but when you get the understanding, don't go to that one. Don't go to those type of pastors and preachers. You have to go to someone that is, like what Bolo said, has a personal relationship with Christ to help you get the understanding, because you don't want to go to someone that is blind, because then you're going to become blind. So you have to be careful in that.
And let me add this, man. This is Luke 14:11. It says, for all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and all those who are humble themselves will be exalted.
If that's part of those type of messages is pretty much why a lot of the black men have exited out of the church. Most of the churches are empty. It's filled with women, because when they hear that, just like I gotta get you a what? So it's very sad how stupid people can be.
No, I don't think that's why black men exited the church, because of pastors like that. I think it's a whole different thing.
No, it is. Well, I mean, that's one major factor.
But I also believe that when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And the Bible talks about guard your heart, because it's the wellspring of life. You got to guard it. You got to guard your mind. You got to guard your heart. You got to guard who you are. And too many times we put our trust in people because we want to feel validated or we want some attention, whatever. But you got to really trust your instincts and really vet people. And that goes with churches too. It's no different, I mean, I grew up Catholic. That was a whole nother thing. And I went to Baptist, whatever, Pentecostal churches, and I stayed far away from it because of the pastors I did see. So,
yeah,
and the congregation too. It wasn't just the pastor; it was the other people in the church.
So what's the other reason why? What AS said, I do see that also. But what's another reason why men left the church, in your opinion?
All right, I'm gonna share that right now. But first,
I
salute
think because
to
they're getting
India.
locked up.
And what?
I think because they're getting locked up.
You think that's the
I think that's the reason too. They're getting locked up.
But
Wait, what do you mean by getting locked up? You talking about brothers getting locked up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of brothers that get locked up either go to jail and turn into Muslim or Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they 9 times out of 10 they usually turn into Muslim,
Uh-huh.
but they still don't go to church.
Oh, okay.
I don't. You can. There's a lot of people who believe in God and don't never step a foot in the church. It's not about your. It's not what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
No, but I understand what you said, but I was just when you say locked up. So you think that's the biggest reason why they locked?
I didn't say biggest reason. I just said a reason.
Oh,
well,
but
Vaughn, let me give you my biggest reason. Let me give you my personal biggest reason why.
Okay.
You know, people like me stopped going to church. Okay. It was too here's the thing. One, I mean, we do have to give accountability of our own actions and the way how we view things. You know, everything is not always just about the people. You also got to look at yourself as well too. But besides that, you have to properly vet and you have to kind of see, all right, how long am I going to endure verbal, mental, and spiritual abuse from people that's trying to tell me or is trying to control the way how I should operate, the way how I should move with my life, the way how I should treat my spouse, or the way how I should treat people. You know what I mean? I know that, church is supposed to be a place where they're supposed to help you to find and understand how to have a fundamental relationship with God. Salute to Chicago Gorilla. You keep reading the comments, Chicago Gorilla, it's going to be long for you. But but the point is that sometimes men will try to control men and try to, I want to say maybe it's a word of emasculated as well. But I know the church that I went to, the only benefit that I got from the church was that I met my wife over there. You know what I mean? And I met a few great people over there. But as far as the whole building relationships, fundamental relationships, you can't force relationships. And I think that was one of the key problems. You'll try to force relationships, but then you'll add these weird rules that, hey, as a grown man or a grown woman, y'all shouldn't be alone. Y'all should have a chaperone because y'all gonna fall into sex. Or I'm trying to think because it's been so long since I last been there. I forgot the ridiculous rules that they used to pull out. You know what I mean? Overall, they'll trimmers try to control your lifestyle, and then when you try to challenge them, then you're deemed as unspiritual, or you're a heathen, or you're just a person that's a rebel of God or whatever. And the thing is that you don't understand that. Look, the hypocrisy that you're giving out. If you're not really living that life, why trying to force that in the congregation and your life and doctrine is not matching with it? And you're getting upset when people are trying to challenge you. And it's not we're going blow for blow. It's just that, yo, bro, I see some hypocrisy, or I see something that, I feel like you may need help in as well too. But if you have this dignitary mindset that I don't have the right to try to correct you, but you have the right to correct me, I think that's where men have a problem with. That's one of the reasons, I mean, there's a whole lot of other stuff that goes on why men stop going to church, but I think more so they cater to just women as opposed to men. I feel like
that's the reason why most men left the church, because they pander to women more than men.
Absolutely.
They don't push the order, right? What we have to understand is when we talk about God, in creation, man and woman are created equal. God loves the woman just as much as he loves the man. But when it comes to purpose, we are not equal at all.
Mm-hmm.
We are not equal. The Lord loves the bird as much as he loves loves the eagle as much as he loves the mouse. But he created the eagle to eat the mouse. And this is what they don't push. They don't push order. They don't push purpose. They don't push understanding. And what they do is they pander more to the women. And you have to understand that Christ is about inclusion. And when you exclude men, when you exclude them, then they're going to go someplace else. They're not going to stay in a place that they don't feel wanted in. When you're not opening up the book and rightly dividing the word of truth, where the Lord gives everybody purpose. Everyone has purpose in this book. When you start to omit that and you start to push this feminist nonsense that's going on, you start to bring it into the book, this is where the problems start. We all know that there's a systemic attack on masculinity. That's not nothing that we don't see. We all see it. Now it's in the church. You see it. This is why the only people you hear crying out and saying, go ahead, speak, are women. The men ain't there. They don't want to be there because there's no spirituality there. It's a game. It's everybody posturing and acting. That's what it is. Acting. It's like WWE. It's exactly what it is. No one is being real at all. You go there for gossip. You go there to see who dressed the best. You go there to see the first lady and she's posturing, trying to act like she's it. And you go there to see the pastor talk nonsense and give you one scripture and pontificate for 4 hours on that like Joel Osteen does. But no one comes out there any spiritually closer to Christ. And that's the point of it. No one does. So this is one of the main reasons why men say, there's no reason for me to be in there at all.
Yeah, because basically just all like theatrics, and women enjoy it, because it engages to their emotions. Yes, they do cater to them, and it makes it seem like men has no value into church. So whenever they try to give you advice, it's advice that's catering to the woman's needs as opposed to meeting the needs of both parties.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Harry. Go ahead, sir. Harry.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sir, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir. Harry. Queen, I'll get to you next.
Yeah. So as I'm hearing this, there's a lot of truth to this. I think one of the big things is when men go to church, there are a lot of different needs. So women go to a service, they have needs, which we have to respect. But the needs of the men go to church for two specific reasons: information and empowerment. We want to know that when we go to church, you're giving me something that I can go take, and this can work in my life. Don't ask me to lift my hands and run around, in three circles and fall out as an expression of my truthfulness for God. No, I need something tangible. And I think that because the church doesn't give men what they need to be better men, to be better leaders, husbands and fathers, we don't get the information and the empowerment, but we still got to give you some money, and then we still got to show up and be present. I think that's why so many have left. And I think that in order to win men back, we have to understand the needs of men and quit expecting men to behave like women as the expression that they really love God. You're gonna lose men that way. We got to provide men with information and with empowerment. And I think we've done there are churches that do a good job of this, but I mean collectively, we haven't done a good job of this.
Did we do it at first, or went away from it, or we always done it?
We used to do a better job of this when family was the thing we pushed at church. When men used to be there and men would take their families to church, we used to have it. But as we become a materialistic as culture, it should have been that the Christian community followed the church. What has happened is the church has followed the culture, and we focused on things. So God's going to bless you with a new house and a new car. And sometimes a blessing is not really a new house. That's just another bill. Sometimes a blessing is not a new car. That's another car payment. Sometimes blessings come in the form of wisdom and new mindset and revelation about things and forgiveness and healing and insight and reflection And I think because we don't talk about those things, we associate blessings with material, and blessings are far deeper than that.
Okay. All right, that's good wisdom. That's good wisdom.
Queen, you're up next. Thank you for sharing, Sir Hell Speaks. And that's a good point.
I was gonna say that I'm not a man, so I can't speak on why y'all left. It's just my opinion.
Well, you spoke on us earlier about going to jail.
Huh?
You spoke about us earlier about going to jail.
Well, I mean, the family's broken up.
Mm-hmm.
So if the family's broken up, the man's not the head of the household. It's now single moms. That's part of it too. You know, I'm not saying that's all of it, but every little, it's like when you let water drop on a rock, it's not going to just erode the rock right away. It's the drips that get it. So it's the slow, continuous drip that has destroyed the church, destroyed the family, and destroyed the community. It's not something it's not an atomic bomb that just drops, but it's the little things that have occurred, that continue to occur, that continue to be normalized, because when you live in a certain way for so long, it becomes normal, whether it's normal or not, whether it's right or wrong. So that's the problem.
Yeah,
and I also think men, a lot of men, to me personally, I think don't want to be held accountable. So a lot of them left because they don't want to be told you're doing wrong. No one's perfect. So if someone comes at you and says that, you say, well, what are you doing? Deflect it instead of owning what you're doing. Is it true or not? No one wants to look in the mirror and speak and be spoken truthfully to. Everybody wants to be band-aid up and pacified. So I think a lot of that too is the pride. If you ain't doing what you need to do at home and you lead that woman, then you should be held accountable. You should be rode and told and checked, So, and if you don't like what you heard, or if you feel like the person's a hypocrite, then you say that. You come back and say, well, I hear what you're saying. It's like a sifter. You take what you can, you let the rest fall through. But that's the problem. Everybody say, oh, you can't tell me nothing. You ain't perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. So if everybody walk around with that attitude, ain't nobody going to learn nothing. Because everybody waiting for the teacher to be perfect.
All right, QueBee, you're next.
Perfect teacher.
Yeah.
I see that. I see your point. I also see, like, even what you're saying as far as man going to being incarcerated, but then it does go inside what Hale and Bolo are saying, because when the women does go to church due to their husbands in jail, when they go to church for that nourishment and they listen to the preacher and the preacher sees it, then he caters to them as far as when they come to the church due to their husband or being incarcerated. So I do see your side and Sir Hale and Bolo also.
They have to cater to them. They're the ones out holding it down. They have to empower them.
Well,
because
they're
the ones who are there.
But also they're the biggest consumers. They're the ones that will
listen.
Like,
let's
hold on, Bolo. They're the ones that will actually tell the husbands, right, or try to correct them and be like, well, hubby, I know you want to give like 2% or whatever, but we're actually going to give the 10% because that's what the Bible says. Most of them, are actually like that, where they actually strongly believe that they need to follow things to the T, other things, based on the Bible. QueBee, I got you in queue, so I know you said you wanted to say something, but Bolo, what you was about to say?
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, I'm an equal opportunity shooter. I shoot at men the same way I shoot at women. But I'm going to have to give Queen some pushback, because a lot of these women are creating the men that they talk about that they don't want. A lot of these women are pushing the men out of the homes. A lot of these men just don't want to deal with it, especially when I got to go out there and fight the world, fight the job, and then come home and fight you. Nah, I don't want to deal with that. This is why you have those passport brothers that are choosing to go overseas than deal with the women here. Because you guys push, and it's not all, but you guys push that I can do what you can do. It's like what trips me out is women want the authority of a man, the accountability of a woman, but the responsibility of a child. You have to pick which one you want. You can't have all three. You want to be equal and you want to be treated as a man. And when a man don't open the door, you got a problem. You want to jump in a man's face, and when a man treats you just as you want to be treated, well, you can't treat me like that because I'm a woman. It doesn't work that way. This is the point of me saying that they're not teaching order in church. They're not, we don't have the OG women that understand what it is to hold a position as a wife, a mother. They're not teaching the young ladies that. BET is teaching the young ladies. The rap is teaching young ladies, like Sir Hell said earlier. You have hip hop culture now in church. Hip hop is in everything now. You don't have these OG men coming back and showing these young men what it is to be a man. It's not something you just tell a man, go be that. You can't raise a child as a single parent and then tell that young man, be a man. It doesn't work that way. No woman on this earth can teach a man how to be a man. It doesn't work that way.
Wow.
You can't ask this young man to be something that he's never seen, never touched, never tasted, never saw a situation in, and then judge him on it. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So we have to understand that we both bring dysfunction to this situation. And in this conversation, you just did what the gender wars do. You're blaming men. But before you blame me, look in the mirror. And I'm not saying you personally. I'm saying women, look in the mirror. We both brought dysfunction to the situation. So before I start trying to take the beam out your eye, let me take the beam out of mine. And this is why we have this dysfunction in the Black and Hispanic community, because everyone's pointing the finger and no one is saying, cool, we both jacked up. We both messed up. This is what I did. This is what you did. Let's look for a solution on how we can make this better. Let's learn to trust each other. Let's open up the dialogue and speak to each other, opposed to saying, well, the reason why the men ain't here because the men did this and they don't want to take accountability and responsibility. Okay, cool, we'll do that. But then the men will say, well, you guys don't hold it down. You ain't my pillow of rest or my pillow. You're my pillow of stress more than that. You're not, all these things that I need you to be. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? So now we're still at the pointing finger thing. We understand all of that. We both brought dysfunction to the situation. Let's start working on solutions. Let's start working on fixing the fracture in the family dynamic, like Sir Hale was saying.
Good wisdom. Great wisdom.
Real quick, QB, right? You're next. I know you wanted to say something so bad, so hopefully both even and still most of your topic points, but go right ahead.
He did. I was going to say the same thing, Bolo. But anyway.
Great minds think alike, so y'all both have good wisdom. Yeah. Everybody has great wisdom.
Like, Queen said, it's that trickle down effect, the overtime effect, the Black community. And I can only speak from my experience, which is the Black church, Black community, Black family. There has been this moderate or a slow erosion of things. We've lost a lot of our leaders and elders. Like Bolo said, they're not teaching, they're not guiding. We don't honor, or we don't teach our young people to honor the elders anymore. A lot of the elders are trying to keep up with the young people. So it's like everybody running around here confused and lost in the sauce. Anyway, once those of us who have that mature mindset is okay, we recognize the problems. Now let's work on solutions, because we can talk about problems all day long till the cows come home. but when are we going to actually execute solutions? And so those of us need to come to the table and say, okay, here is my corner of the world. Here's what's happening here. Here's another person. They have resources, information, yada, yada, and so forth and so on. We can't do it all alone. We have to be collaborative in our efforts to raise up our communities. I mean, I was having a conversation with someone earlier, and I'm just really concerned about the 25 and under crowd. Like, I don't know where they're going, but if someone like me who's in my 40s and above don't do something with other like-minded people, we're going to lose them to a degree. So anyway, Volo stole my message. That's okay.
Yeah, but no, what you said is good, great wisdom. Matter of fact, the whole panel and in the chat, the comments that's been going on in the chat, I suggest everybody to share this and get this out because, like you said, Queen, we all need solutions and we need to act on it. And everybody on this panel, just by them being here, speaking of wisdom and knowledge, please share this video to all people that you can. It's important so we can move forward in this struggle.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you, Vaughn, for that reminder. Yes, everybody. So, hey, everybody, I know everyone has a social media account. You know, they have a cell phone. Please feel free to, just share it to maybe a random family member who may need to, who definitely will need to hear this. I ain't going to say no may, but definitely share it like on your YouTube
timeline. I'm gonna send it to you again, okay?
And I'll send it right back to you.
I blocked you.
but definitely, please share this. And we haven't even got to the last portion of this topic, right? Because I also feel like just like some teachers, right, where they mentally scam like the kids, preachers, they definitely could scam like the women out of their contribution. The members, and it just depends like who you are pretty much. So not all churches are like that, but you have to understand that everyone is always going to preach like a different doctrine and everyone's going to judge differently. So choose a church that is fitting to your needs or don't go to church at all. Mainly, look, get your relationship with the Almighty or Jesus Christ right through the Bible if you really want to have a fundamental relationship with him. And that's my point of view on it.
Can I say something to that point as well?
Yeah, sure, sir.
So I think I don't want to say apologies are needed. So I'm a man of faith. But I remember the point, and this is me growing up in church. Okay. I'm talking about I was a junior deacon at 7. I was an usher at like 9 or 10. I started playing the keyboard at 11, and I led songs all throughout my childhood. Yeah. And when I got about 16, 17 years old, I'm like, I'm leaving this, God. If you telling me we doing all of this praying and, you know what I mean, we doing all this extra stuff and we still mean to each other and people can't forgive and, you know what I mean, we doing all, I don't want none of this. And so there's a lot of church hurt that takes place. And I think that we overlook that as Christians and even as clergy. We see people who come in hurting and we think that just, let some years go by, they'll forget about it. I think that the church in a lot of aspects, we have to show some humility and address some of the hurt that we've caused. Even if we personally did not do it, we've got to speak to the hurt that has created a level of distrust in our communities and address it so that people know that they are heard. And then change the culture where the people of the church are here for us. We are here for the people. We're here to serve. And I think that as we do that, whether or not people come back to church, it will at least show some humanity, which is one of the things that I think we've lost, that we've got to get back to. That putting on a shirt and a tie or a nice dress don't make you super saint. It can make you just a well-dressed sinner. Because God's not looking at your outside, he's looking at your heart. So to people on here who've been hurt in church, I apologize for what has happened to you, but please don't ever allow what man does to make you think that that's what God does. Because while we are imperfect, God is perfect and he loves you.
Great wisdom. Great wisdom.
I appreciate that, sir.
I'm going to come give you a hug, M3, okay? I'm on my way.
Great.
I got you.
That was great wisdom.
Yeah.
So bless be upon you, my brother, and everybody with a panel. But that was good wisdom. Blessings to you, my brother.
Basically, we need more people like you, Sir Hell, that actually has the understanding and the empathy, what other people went through, and especially you having a background where you grew up in the churches and served and had your trials and tribulations. For you to say that, like, that was definitely inspiring. Almost make people want to go back to church a little bit. But
You want to go? I'm gonna come pick you up.
No, I don't need you to pick me up, Queen. I'm good.
I got you.
He said not yet. He said not yet.
Not yet. He ain't ready.
I
He
said
ain't ready.
church. Yeah. Okay.
You got something to play at the last M3? You said you had a third part or no?
No, wait, say again?
You said you had a third part of the show?
I do have a third part, but before I play that, right, I gotta play our usual 1 minute intermission. So go down to the video clips, right? Because this is a demonstration for people like who are new to non-traditional relationships. If you want to where's the intermission? If you want to learn how to hit that notification bell, check out the intermission. All right. All right. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you guys enjoy like our intermission. Anyways, why the music's not playing? Oh, hold on for a second. I forgot I put on mute. There we go. All right, so welcome back to Knowledge and Relationships. So now we're gonna react to the last part. Now we're gonna get to the pimps. Okay. And thank you, Sir Hell Speaks. Let me see. Let me go ahead and react to. Oh, there it is. Hit the share button. All right. This is going to be pretty interesting. All right. So we have Bishop Don Juan, and he's going to give people his perspective. What does life means for a pimp? Okay, hold on for a second. Oh, Sir Hell Speaks. Before you head out, do you want to shout your YouTube channel before you go?
Not my YouTube, but I do want to say something if you don't mind.
No problem.
If you guys are just tuning in, y'all respect my brother, M3 Knowledge and Relationships, and everybody on here. Please subscribe, show some support. My brother, love what you're doing, man, and thanks so much for always welcoming me on. Truly appreciate you, man. Y'all have a good night.
Oh man, hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Salutes to you as well, man. And I wish you nothing but the best, pretty much.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you so much, man, for tuning in. All right, shout out to Sir Hell Speaks. Definitely please subscribe to his YouTube channel as well too. One thing I learned about that brother, man, that look, you don't have to do any YouTube beats to try to get your numbers up. You could do things the legit in the right way and keep it trill and positive. All right. So let me see. With that being said, okay, let me read these comments real quick. The black woman hasn't been under the black man's thumb for 100 years. Okay. The master's done blaming us. All right. All right. And everybody, please subscribe to Nice and Relationships. As you saw the intermission, hey, click the bell so you can be notified whenever we go live. All right. Let me hurry up because we're already at the 2-hour mark. So I'll say like we'll probably dab into this like for the last like 10 minutes. All right, let me go ahead and share this. All right, so I'll play like a few small clips.
Tell me, and for our
Fair
audience,
use.
what is a pimp? What does he do?
What is a pimp and what does he do?
Well, my job as a pimp was to be considered the female everything. You know, most of the time, young ladies that are looking for love, they're looking for somebody that's concerned about them to be able to take care of them. And this is what a pimp do. He uses women on the street so that they can fulfill his needs, material.
Wait, did they say the pimp turned pastor? Okay, wow, all right. But anyways, his goal and mission is to sell the woman the dream.
And however he wanted, their desire to be. Billboard, he understands because when I first become the #1 pimp in Chicago, he was one of the presenters at the Pimp of the Year ball, and he presented me with the award.
Now,
yeah, I don't know why the women are looking at him like that, especially that older woman. She probably like, hey, you could pimp me out anytime.
Pimp. Bear with me. I'm trying to be objective here. What do you mean, pimp of the year? This is.
Well, see, this is an annual thing that takes place within the inner city or within the pimp, the players, the
So within the
hustlers.
community, it's recognized. Okay, let's get back to what the pimp does now. As I understand it, then you have a stable of women. Okay.
Fair use.
Okay, these women are prostitutes. You send these women out to hotels, on the streets, wherever you send them. They perform their acts of prostitution. They get the money, and they come back to you, and you take all their money.
That sounds about right. Which it's at first like I thought it was like really stupid because I mean if a woman is gonna live that type of lifestyle, why collect all this money just so you could give it all to the pimp and then he may just give you a little cut. But then as I understood, the pimp pretty much just provide the protection as what your father should be doing for his daughters. So
in exchange for what?
Well, exchange for being their everything, fulfilling their every desire, fulfilling the needs in their life. I mean, what a pimp do is the pimp is the overseer of the female. I mean, she's there to fulfill his needs and do his business.
What does she do for you?
Good question.
Stand on the corner, sell her body so that I could receive the finances to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. This was my job as a pimp, to receive her money. And her job was to stand on the corner and fulfill my desire by getting the money and bringing it home to me.
Does any of this strike you as wrong? There's something when your judgment day comes that all of a sudden someone's going to look at you and say, you know what, that wasn't the best thing to do on earth to make
fair use, of course.
Make a living.
I'm wearing these dark glasses, not because I'm ashamed of me. I'm 67 years old. But my version of it is, I've seen a lot of people out there old enough to realize the original Coca-Cola ball, the little small one. To me, that was the best. So as the generation passed on,
fair use,
different things. Now my version of a pimp is altogether different. To me, a pimp is a person who teaches, brings the best out in the worst of female and teach her that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
What do you teach?
And like I said again, this goes into still selling the dream, providing the promise that at the end of it, what you're doing is going to all pay off in the long run. It's like an investment, but you don't know what the investment will turn out to be.
Teaching them with all due respect.
Oh, and go back real quick. Let me see.
And teach her that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
What?
That lady looked like Medea.
are you teaching them with all due respect? You're
Just a
teaching a woman to go out and sell her body
No.
and give me your money?
Mr. Jerry, you elevate. That's the grammar school basis where I'm concerned. You don't give away nothing that's good enough to sell. She hungry, she ain't got nothing, so make one step, grammar school, kindergarten, step up, let me elevate you into something else. Every woman I ever had is living in the suburbs now.
Okay. So you're taking women that are stone broke, they're down on their luck, they have nothing.
We're more or less to motivate them.
You definitely have a good evening, Inya. Thank you for tuning in.
You know, women's already out that be involved in different sexual activities, so now they're getting paid for it. Motivate them to know to get paid
If
for
you
them.
say you care for these women, do you beat them?
But you can't stop
You've hit women.
Yeah, now that was a good question. I don't know. Maybe they do.
You hit your women, don't you?
Only to shock them back to reality. You know?
All right. I'll end it from here. Okay? Because I know we're getting pressed on time. All right, everybody. This is what I'm going to do, right? Because it is getting late. So I'm going to give everyone like, let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8. I'll give everybody like 2 minutes, right? To share me your point of view on this. All right. So we'll start off with the ladies first. And then we'll go up to like Vaughn, and then we'll go to Bolo, okay? All right. Queen, what's your thoughts?
Ludicrous. But I always say pimps are one of the best motivational speakers because they can make someone feel like their only use is what's between their legs. And it's really sad because they prey on the weak and they condition them to believe that as well. So yeah, sad. I just think it's horrible. But anyway, that's it. That's why I have a job. I'm gonna keep saying it because of mindsets like that.
All right, I heard that. All right, thank you, Queen. All right, let's see. QB, tell me your thoughts.
All right. Well, I was gonna say because of Queen's job, yeah, she's gonna always stay in business. However, I can understand why women go into it. Um, Not gonna get too deep. Let's just say there's a longing to belong. There's a longing for something to fill a void. Now, would it be my choice in my mindset right now? No. But again, I can understand because of things that I've been through in my life. I've shared a lot of my story on different platforms. I'm just going to say this. I was promiscuous when I was younger and had the right person or wrong person, whatever you want to call it, come along. I could have easily been that person because of my mindset. However, I thank God that He pulled me out. Like, that wasn't my lot in life. But anyway, I don't condone it, but I understand it, and I wish that there were more people like Queen to snatch these women up by the collar and say, "Somebody loves you in a better way, baby." That's my 2 cents.
Okay, that's your 2 cents. You sticking to it. All right. All right, thank you, QB. All right, Vaughn, what's your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I share the same point of view as the 2 queens share. Yeah, when you get a chance, check that video out because she said she comes from a long line all the way back to the Moors in Egypt. So when you see that, then check that out when you get a chance, 2 and 3. But yeah, I agree with. It's just, yeah, I disagree with I'm just piggybacking off of Queen. I share that sentiment.
Okay. All right, for sure. All right, Mr. Bolo TV. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you 2 minutes as well too. Share me your thoughts about this.
Okay, we have to understand that men are antivirus when it comes to protecting the family. What does the antivirus do? It scans everything before it comes into the computer to make sure it's safe. When you remove the man from the home, now you make this home open to all sorts of viruses. This is a classic case of when you remove the father from the home, what you allow to happen inside. Daughters need their father. Sons need their father. And when you remove them and they don't have that strength to understand what a father is, that protection to hold him, the validation, you leave them susceptible to satanic men like this. You leave them open to demonic forces like this. These guys that are going to come in and give them some semblance of love, or what they might think is love. Because if they don't have their father, they don't know what it is. It's so important to have both parents in these children's lives. So let's understand that that's what's important. These women are lacking the understanding of what it is to have a father. So they seek this outside, and these demonic men take advantage of it. And to the pimps and the pastors and the preachers out there, I just want to read one scripture to you. It's Jeremiah 23:1. And it says, "Woe to the shepherds who are destroying and scattering the sheep of my pasture, declares the Lord. Destruction will follow you."
Oh, thank you, Bolo, for sharing that. Let's see. Everybody, please don't forget to comment like on our YouTube channel after the show, because it helps build the algorithm up. Real quick, let me sum things up for a second, okay? So overall, right, when it comes down to the teachers, the preachers, and the PIMPs, the pimps, right? This is what all three of them have in common. Okay, and as far as the teachers, not all teachers are like that. Just disclaimer, okay? We have some good teachers out there, but I'm just talking about like the bad ones. And also, shout outs to Mimsy Limbs. Thank you for tuning in. I haven't seen you in a long time, but good to see you, sis. Okay. All right. When it comes to those people, the one thing that all three of them have in common is that they exploit the vulnerability of young children, okay? Young people, all right? If you're vulnerable, they will prey on that, okay? We know them for sure, like the pimps, like they're going to prey on that no matter what. That's their job, looking for a woman who's vulnerable. But as far as, okay, the bad teacher staffs out there, they prey on the kids that, whatever issues that they may have, from home, and then they bring that over to the school. If they find any opportunity to be like a pedo, all right, and take advantage of that the child, they will definitely do that. And at first, like, I've been trying to figure out for that woman in particular, it's like, and I'm talking to the teachers at this point. Why would a young, beautiful teacher want to prey on a young child like that? And the parents would give the okay. And, my conclusion is just that people are really just that sick. But it's more of a power play. I feel like as an adult woman, when you have like a young child that you could prey on, like you're really flexing like your power. Even if it's subtle, it's like you have power and control of what the outcome that you want to have, like, for that kid. It's like you want to groom them. You know what I mean? As far as the preachers, the preachers, they groom the members. They have their own doctrine, they have their own teaching that goes outside the Bible. Which that's why, like, the doctrines can't match with other churches, because one man has his own ideology and everyone must follow his thoughts, the way how he thinks and he views God. If you're not following the way how he thinks and operates, then you're not acting like a sole member of the church. Okay? And really, man, it could really beat you down mentally. spiritually, physically, or whatever. So, my point is that, look, man, be careful who you surround yourself around. Be careful who you allow into your livelihood. Okay, if you're a young student, hopefully you have good parents that will teach you right from wrong, teach you awareness when a teacher is trying to take advantage of you. A bad teacher, that is. Okay, like I said, I met most of the teachers I met or I know are good teachers, but you do have a few bad apples, just like the police officers. But as far as with the preachers and the pimps or whatever, I can't say otherwise. But anyways, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to Knowledge and Relationships on YouTube and Twitch as well too, but mostly on YouTube. Definitely, please, as always, let me go ahead and post this up here. When the stream is about to end, like in just a minute, but when the stream ends, please, everybody, don't forget to place a comment. You can place a comment or just an emoji. But anytime you comment and you like the video, especially tonight's video, you're bringing attention to the algorithm. So definitely, please make sure you guys do that. Comment after the show. Vaughn, please comment after the show. Bold TV, Queen. I know you ain't gonna comment, but still comment anyways. And QueBee, definitely comment, and everybody else in the chat too. Please comment after the show. This will definitely help build the algorithm up. We're trying to get to that 1K, so only you can help us to get up to 1K. That's all I gotta say. Other than that, thank you everybody for tuning in to Knowledge and Relationships on YouTube. And make sure that before you guys leave, make sure that everybody gets their mind right. Okay? Definitely get your mind right and, help build the algorithm up. Until then, thank you everyone. And I wish everybody a blessed night.
God bless, babe.
You too. All right.
Go to church, Enter.
No. But thank you, though.
Good night.
Knowledge and relationships.